Hello, I'm Mary Lohman, and this is Mondays with Mary. I don't know about you, but I often need daily reminders that force me to get God's perspective, to look through God's eyes at the people and situations in my life. One gimmick that I often use is what I call reframing. You know, it's amazing how different a picture can look in different frames. And the same is true in how we frame people and situations and how we react in our behavior toward that person or situation. For example, think of the most difficult person in your life right now. Maybe it's your boss or a coworker or a mate or a child or a friend, whoever. This person knows how to push your buttons and they can ruin a good day for you. Can you describe the frame that you have around that person in your mind? I used to work for a very difficult boss, and I had him framed in an intimidating, humiliating frame because he often managed that way. So that's how I saw him. And of course, I was miserable working for him while I had him in that frame. So name the frame you now have around your difficult person. It could be an angry frame or a lazy frame or a complaining frame or a rebellious frame. And your frame may indeed be accurate, but that coworker may be lazy and that child may be in rebellious mode. But there are other frames that could also be true about that difficult person. So think of one good thing about him or her. Maybe it's a smiling frame because they smile a lot. Or maybe it's a smart frame or an experienced frame or a clean and neat frame. I started thinking about my difficult boss in a smart frame, which he was. And I realized he was a person I could learn from in many ways. It really made a huge difference in me and in the way I reacted and responded to him. You may not be happy with your job right now. Maybe you're bored or underutilized or overworked or underappreciated. Whatever the cause, every time you think about your job, no doubt you think of it in that negative frame. What would happen if you consciously reframed it? Think of one good thing about your job. Maybe you have good benefits or it's a very easy commute. And then force yourself to think of your job in that new frame. I used to complain about having too much to do. But then I began to say to myself, Mary, how blessed you are to have more to do than you will get done today. Imagine how bored you would be if you didn't have a lot to do. You get the idea? I truly began to see my daily schedule in a different frame, and it changed my attitude. It reduced my stress and made me more joyful. It really worked. So whatever you've been complaining about lately, put it in a different frame. God will help you. You can do it. You know, reframing works because it's a biblical principle. The Bible says that we should think about what is true, noble, right, pure, lovely, and admirable from Philippians 4:8. Reframing is changing our thought patterns to bring every thought into captivity and make it obey Christ. And then you make yourself think about the good reports, not the bad ones. So I encourage you to give reframing a try. It'll take some practice, but once you learn to use it, you'll discover that it's a whole lot nicer than wallowing in negativity. So have a wonderful day today.